Foreign interference in Canada's election? Yes, it very much could have happened here. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. We were warned that this could be on the agenda before the election. Foreign governments, in fact, specifically China, trying to interfere in our election campaign. Well, now one former MP is stepping forward to say he believes he was the victim of a disinformation campaign and he wants it investigated. Kenny Chu represented the riding of Stevenston-Richmond East from 2019 until this past Monday. He doesn't say that his Liberal opponent was behind any of these campaigns. He wonders if it's forces outside of the country or simply people aligned with Beijing. Either way, Chu wants things looked into. I sat down to chat with him about what went wrong and what happened that has him raising the alarm bell. Do you believe that there was some sort of foreign interference? Was this just people who were upset at you, upset at your private member's bill on registering people acting on behalf of foreign governments? Or do you think that there was a coordinated effort by Beijing or people affiliated with the Communist Chinese Party?
I can only comment on what I've observed. From what I observed are that there are articles being, anonymous authored articles being posted on WeChat and criticizing not just myself, but my party, my leader, but then other articles, similar articles on WeChat are painting a bullseye on me using my private member bill 282. Those are spreading not just rumors and complete disinformation. It's full lies. Who wrote those and where are they coming from? It's anybody's guess. But with those information, people regurgitate and just basically spread like a virus among the chat rooms.
Now, this is a world that I have no window into. I don't speak or read the language, but my understanding is that WeChat is like Facebook on steroids. It's far more than Facebook. We often call it a Chinese language Facebook, but it's more than that. It is very popular in Canada. It's popular around the world. And these articles spread like wildfire, I understand.
Yes, exactly, because it's not just independently or separated during this election. It works with previous narratives that's been broadcasted in the same channels and to the same audience. Like earlier this year and late last year, there have been talk about anti-Asian racism and anti-Asian racism in Canada. It's all because your politicians are been criticizing your motherland, and if you don't want to be hated, if you don't want to be discriminated against, make sure you tell those politicians to stop criticizing us.
You yourself, though, Kenny, born in Hong Kong, came to Canada later in life. You are ethnic Chinese, and they're turning around and saying that you're partly responsible for anti-Asian racism?
Yeah, I mean, if you read my Twitter feed, there are people posting things like, this guy who's Chinese against Chinese, he's a traitor. That's the kind of label that they see. But, Brian, we know that until recently, I've been an opposition MP. Our job is to prove it to Canadians that conservatives have better ideas in governing the country. We want to unseat the Liberals, Party of Canada members. But this is a concept that we kind of take for granted. For many people who are from several corners of the world, they don't understand party does not equal to country, does not equal to race. And in the communist controlled China, they put equation just basically equalize the three. If you criticize the party, you criticize the state. If you criticize the state, you criticize the race. So many of these people, they probably buy into and drink too much of their Kool-Aid. And how do we combat that? How do we explain that? That will be the challenge for this new set of parliamentarians.
I mean, let's be honest, the conservatives have taken a strong line on China over the past several years, one that I think is warranted given the way that Beijing has treated Canada, be it the two Michaels, sparking trade wars unnecessarily. So it has been a response to what used to be a decent relationship. But do you think that they went too far and were actually anti-Chinese as opposed to speaking out against the government of China, against the Communist Party there?
Not at all. Not at all, Brian. If you pay attention to what the conservative leader Aaron O'Toole have been saying, if you pay attention to conservative member of parliaments in the House of Commons been criticizing, we are crystal clear that we are aiming at the Chinese communists. And in most of the times, it's their infiltration work. It's their work vis-a-vis Canada that we're criticizing also. Like, for example, Brian, I don't understand why, amidst a pandemic that we don't know where the source it's from, when the two Michaels are being arbitrarily incarcerated, why would the federal government of Canada engage in a vaccine development project with a Chinese company?
Or give a shipbuilding contract to them.
Exactly. Or train their military. In the House of Commons, Canadian needs to know that we've been advocating and very clearly asking them why. Why were the two scientists in Wuhan microbiology lab, under what situation and context that they were fired? And the Canadians also need to pay attention to the response from this particular government under Justin Trudeau, that they will actually take the Parliament of Canada, represented by the Speaker, to court in order to shut us down. Why? These are the information that the Canadian needs to contemplate and consider. I don't think the Conservatives have taken a wrong stance. Brian, it is in our national anthem that we stand on guard for Canada, and so parliamentarian cannot do anything less.
The ambassador of China to Canada made comments during the election. We saw an editorial in the Global Times, which is a state-owned media outlet in English, in China, but in English, warning that the Conservatives would be bad for Canada-Chinese relations. We know that the head of CSIS had warned about foreign interference, including by state actors such as China. So do you think that there should be an investigation into what happened in your riding and some others to see if there was an attempt by the Communist Party of China to interfere in Canada's elections? You know, we've heard about it happening in other countries. We know it's feasible. It wouldn't change the outcome of the election overall. Yes, for you it might, but do you think that we should take this seriously and investigate?
Brian, I believe we need to safeguard Canada, period. It doesn't matter whether it's Russian infiltrating or influencing. Like in 2019, there have been extra steps taken to prevent that from affecting members of parliaments running for re-election, like Chrystia Freeland, for example. I think we need to safeguard this country from foreign influence and interference. In 2019 election, in 2021 election, it does seem like there's something fishy that is going on in several ridings in GVRD and GTA, but our national security and intelligence apparatus, we need to get them to look deeper into this. One other thing, Brian, I would like to talk to you and also your audience is that in the Uyghur votes that was held February 22nd this year, the House of Commons all voted for this motion in support of the bill that China, according to definition in the United Nations, had committed genocide against the Uyghurs and also Turkic Muslims in Xinjiang. All voted for it. There's no opposition except for Liberals cabinet. They're hiding behind their cabinet positions. But on the other hand, there are also other particularly liberal members who are also not voted. We know that in the House of Commons, all ethnic Chinese member of parliament, we voted for this motion. Michael Chong, Jenny Kwan from the NDP, Alice Wong, and myself. But the liberal side, their member of parliaments of ethnic Chinese all shied away from voting. If they think that this is a wrong motion, they should have taken a stand and voted against it. But they were not. Many of them, I think 4 of them were not in the cabinet. Mary Ng is. So even if I had given them this excuse, these other members would not have any reason why, and so they did not vote, and they got reelected again.
Well, is this then not proof that if you don't do what Beijing wants, Beijing will reach into Canada and try and punish you?
Well, there is a saying, a Chinese saying that says, killing a monkey to serve an example. Sorry, killing a chicken to serve as a monkey example. So show it to the monkey what if you taken the wrong step. Whether this is the case, I would rather leave it to our national security apparatus to investigate. But it just from a superficial perspective, it looks to be there is something happening.
All right, Kenny, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Brian. Take care.
Let us know what you think. Drop a comment down below, share this on social media, and of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.